Following some breaking news out of Taunton at this moment, let's get to Phil Lipoff in the newsroom. Phil.
There's a lot of information right now, but this is what we can tell you. Silver City Galleria, this is wedged between 140 and 20. State police, local fire, all heading there after multiple 911 calls. There's something happened right there in the middle of the mall. We spoke to an employee at the Round 1 Bowling and Amusement. They said a police officer came in and told everybody to get outside. We have crews on the way to the scene, and when we get more information on this, we're going to bring it to you this evening. Back to you guys.
Again, that was in Taunton. Chronicle is next.
We continue to follow some breaking news out of Taunton right now. A very active police crime scene there. The police have just confirmed that there have been multiple stabbings at the Silver City Galleria Mall in Taunton. That is right off of 140 and Route 24 there. And what you're looking at right there is a car that has smashed into the door right there at the Macy's at the Silver City Galleria. And of course, all of this is surrounding these multiple stabbings and reports of a shooting there as well.
All of the pieces are coming together. We've just gotten a release from state police to give you the official information we know right now. It's a crime scene that started at a home on Myrick Street in Taunton. Multiple people were stabbed by an assailant. Then they fled to the mall. Our Reed Lamberty is there on the ground. Reed, what have you been able to gather in the short time you've been there?
Ed and Maria, we have we know that this happened about 6:30, about an hour and a half ago. We spoke with people who actually witnessed the stabbings inside the Bertucci's Brick Oven Pizza restaurant, which is out here behind me here at the Silver City Mall. What the victim, or witness rather, told us is that they saw a man come out from behind in the restaurant and just randomly start slashing and stabbing people.
So you have the Myrick Street residents separate from this, and you have the two episodes that are in the mall, all connected apparently with the same group of people in the same conduct of activity, which right now they're saying, and just to reinforce what Maria said, some of these injuries are considered to be life-threatening at this moment.
And the question is, Ed, is that let's talk about the suspect here, because we have this information from state police. I have some information from sources. We do hear that somehow an off-duty law enforcement officer shot at this suspect. The question is, what's the situation with the suspect right now? Are they in lockdown, and should people be concerned at this moment?
WCVB News Center 5 at 11 starts right now.
Breaking news, chaos erupting at a mall in Taunton.
There's a killer, there's a killer.
Shots fired, people stabbed, and a car crashing into a store.
The suspect's violent rampage.
The shoppers caught in the chaos.
And the second bloody scene discovered in this nearby neighborhood.
The deadly attacks leaving this city stunned.
Victims rushed to the hospital. The investigation just getting started.
Live team coverage of a horrific night in Taunton.
Breaking news at 11. 3 people are dead after a shooting rampage through Taunton.
Sky 5 live over the Silver City Galleria, one of 2 bloody crime scenes in the city tonight. Hello, everybody. Maria Stefanos.
And I'm Ed Harding. Several more are hurt, and an off-duty officer is being called a hero tonight. That chaos started with a car wreck on Myrick Street, and then a brutal attack inside a home. A mother and her daughter stabbed at that scene, and we have just learned that the mother, an 80-year-old woman, has died.
And then the violence spilling over to that busy mall just a couple of miles away. A pregnant woman among some of the victims there. We can tell you that one victim there was killed. Our team coverage beginning with News Center 5's Reed Lamberty live right there at the mall tonight. Reed.
And Maria, still an active crime scene here at the Silver City Galleria. In fact, 2 separate crime scenes at this mall alone. Everything here erupted at 6:30 tonight as people were settling down for dinner.
And all of a sudden people are hollering, there's a killer, there's a killer.
That frightening moment of chaos inside the Bertucci's restaurant quickly turned to carnage.
He came from the back of the restaurant, and he was walking towards the front light, and as he was coming, he was slashing people, and people were throwing chairs at him and stuff.
Witnesses say the man, for no apparent reason, appeared to randomly select his victims, one of whom was a pregnant woman, brutally assaulting them with a knife. Those who could, like Ruth Carvero, ran for cover.
I went to the beauty salon and I told them, there's a killer, so they all got out and we all went in the back room.
And amidst the disorder, law and order, as an off-duty sheriff's deputy who happened to be eating at the Bertucci's at that time shot the knife-wielding assailant.
A couple noises. I couldn't tell if it was a gunshot or Couldn't tell. I saw people running, kids running, younger girls running.
There was just a bunch of women that just came running into the building and asked me to close my doors.
The Bertucci's was just one of 3 separate crime scenes. The first one happening at a nearby home and involved a car accident and a stabbing. The suspect then drove this car into the Macy's entrance at the mall before heading to the restaurant full with diners.
We pulled up and there was people on the stretchers getting taken out and everything, and one girl was crying for her baby.
And police and the district attorney's office have just recently announced the identity of the suspect. He is now identified as Arthur DeRosa. He is one of 3 people who was killed tonight. He killed 2 people, and he, of course, was shot by that off-duty sheriff's deputy inside the Bertucci's restaurant. That off-duty deputy being called a hero tonight for his actions. Live in Taunton, I'm Reed Lambert at WCVB News Center 5.
And as we said, there are 2 crime scenes. One is the mall. Let's give you a sense of where they are in relation to each other. Myrick Street is about 4 miles away from the mall, and News Center 5's Mary Saladna is there live. Mayor?
Yeah, and apparently the violence started here on Myrick Street when the suspect crashed his vehicle and then went on a deadly stabbing rampage. Here on Myrick Street, witnesses say it started as a car crash involving this red pickup. Moments later, the suspect could be seen running erratically around the neighborhood, trying to break into nearby homes.
It was kind of chaos, everything going on. Like I said, it's kind of, you go up there to tend to look like a regular accident, and it turns into be a little different. It was definitely different.
The suspect forced his way into this house. Sources tell News Center 5 he then used a kitchen knife to stab an elderly woman and her adult daughter. Neighbors watched in horror as the man raced back out of the home, knife in hand, and took off in a black sedan he apparently stole.
Definitely not in the right frame of mind.
Meanwhile, police descended upon the scene. Neighbors say paramedics were performing CPR on the elderly woman as she was rushed to the ambulance.
She's a nice lady. They're both nice.
Very nice people, great family.
And as you heard Reed say, we have confirmed now that the 80-year-old woman has died from her injuries from being stabbed in her own kitchen. Police also confirming that that attack here on Myrick Street was random. Ed and Maria.
And at this hour, we are hearing from the Bristol County District Attorney.
Yes, News Center 5's John Atwater live in Taunton with the very latest information. John.
And they just spoke here outside the police department. Maria, at this point, really motives are unclear tonight. But as we have mentioned, they have identified the suspect as a 28-year-old man who lives here in Taunton. His name, Arthur DeRosa. He, of course, went on this rampage tonight, killing 2, wounding 4 others. That suspect ran through the mall, stabbing people at Bertucci's. But as we've mentioned, there just happened to be an off-duty sheriff's deputy at that restaurant. He pulled his gun, killing the suspect, ending this rampage. Officials tonight are calling him a hero.
I'd like to thank the off-duty sheriff. If it wasn't for his heroic actions, there could have been more loss of life here this evening. I'd like to just thank all our law enforcement officers, of course, from the city of Taunton, state police and surrounding communities, and all of our first responders for their quick actions as well.
Again, so incredible that off-duty sheriff's deputy reacted so quickly, preventing an even greater tragedy tonight. And again, officials here not discussing motive as they continue their investigation tonight. We're live in Taunton. John Atwater, WCVB News Center 5.
Live Sky 5 still in the air over the entrance to the Silver City Galleria and, of course, to the Bertucci's restaurant, which is on your left. Shoppers running for their lives or running for cover during the attack.
And those shoppers talking to News Center 5's Jorge Quiroga tonight. He continues our live coverage from the mall. Jorge.
Maria, shoppers describe a violent and unprovoked sequence of events starting when a man suddenly rams a black Honda Accord into the side entrance of this Macy's. Inside Macy's, customers heard a commotion and screaming, and they started running. Reshma Norani was in the fitting room.
I came out of the fitting room and I heard like girls running and people running, screaming like there's a guy. So because, you know, we're used to like a guy entering a store, so we used to like, oh, he must be having a gun. So I ran with them.
The suspect was then seen outside the Bertucci's, a few storefronts away from Macy's.
All of a sudden he walked into Bertucci's and I saw him just start stabbing people, and there was somebody with a chair throwing at him, and there was an off-duty officer there, and he actually shot him and kept him down.
Pandemonium. Emily Higgins getting her nails done across from the Bertucci's. She saw the whole bloody scene.
He just went off and he was mad about something, we don't know what, and just started stabbing everybody, and we just didn't understand what, so we just ran and just ducked for our own safety. It's very awful. I can't get it out of my head right now. I'm shaking as we're talking, and just reliving the moment in my head as we're speaking is just mind-blowing to me, and it's very emotional. I'm very shaken.
And as you've heard, the victims apparently all random. A horrible nightmare witnesses will never forget. Live in Taunton, Jorge Quiroga, WCVB News Center 5.
And several more people recovering from their injuries tonight. That right there is video from Morton Hospital in Taunton. A couple of miles away from the scene, you can see victims arriving there right after that attack.
All right, there's a lot of information to process at 11 o'clock tonight. Again, back live to the mall, the Silver City Galleria. You can see the Bertucci's Brick Oven Pizzeria on its left. These two key scenes to the events tonight. 28-year-old Arthur DeRosa of Taunton is dead. He is the suspect. Two victims are also dead tonight. One, an 80-year-old woman. She was killed in her home on Myrick Street. 3 people in all are dead, a number of others injured as a rampage tonight in Taunton has come to a bloody and violent conclusion.
And we will continue to follow this for you all night long and on WCVB.com.